Well, let me just try playing a screensaver 3,000 times in a row, and then we'll see if it inspires us to make a good podcast.
Okay.
Interesting tactic.
Well, sometimes what people love is a shitty screensaver. It's December 22nd, 2016.
This is Idle Thumbs 294. I'm Chris Remo.
I'm Nick Breckon.
And I'm Jake Rodkin.
Hey, guys.
Oh,
Hi.
hey, whoa, podcast.
Whoa. I bet that you guys have been playing Super Mario Run.
I bet that it's pizza tonight.
Jake's off to a
It's like, it's pizza tonight. He's just over there just like chain smoking. It's pizza tonight.
It is. I have been playing it, Chris.
Yeah.
I have been playing it, Chris.
Unrelatedly,
Yeah.
have you guys seen that Mummy trailer? Because that's actually my favorite.
Yeah, no, that is the news. That's the important news.
Okay,
today,
so Nintendo finally ships a game on
No,
iOS,
no,
and it's great. But fuck that shit.
Well-
Someone uploaded a mummy.
Mm-hmm. Someone
Wrong. Someone uploaded a mummy
for the new
incorrectly.
Mummy movie, which looks baffling, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Someone uploaded a trailer for that movie with I guess only one of the sort of
It must be one of the
5.1
surround
sound
channels.
Yeah.
or something. It is amazing. Universal or whoever it is releasing this movie has been.
It's Universal. It's the
Yeah.
Mummy is this is. I don't think is related to the Brendan Fraser The Mummy. I think this is related to black and white The Mummy, like Wolfman vintage.
But Universal's
Not that you can tell.
Universal's rebooting all their monster movies, right?
all their
Yeah.
mummies.
Yeah. But what's weird is isn't the actress, one of the actresses in it? She was in
I think she was
the
in the
Brendan
original
Fraser Mummy
series.
movie.
Yeah.
So I hope there's some idiotic.
Stupid canon where Brendan Fraser has been
for
killed
why-
by a mummy, and
yeah.
now Tom
Oh, my
Cruise
God.
takes the mantle. Yeah.
Anyway,
That's not the important part
None of
about
that
this.
matters.
Well, we
None
had to
of that
get
matters
the
when it comes to
sponsored
change
content
that.
out of the way. I had to
Yeah.
get the sponsored
So
content out of the way.
Universal has been working around the clock to eradicate all evidence of this from the internet, but the missing sound channel version of the Mummy trailer is really, really
So
incredible.
fucking good.
One, it is just hilarious because
Yeah.
it has no music until I think the very end.
Yeah.
And
Well, it has those cues, those classic
has the-
trailer cues.
It has
Yeah,
low
but-
frequency. It has
not even
LFEs.
classic. That's just only in the last 5
yes,
years.
right.
No way. That's been around for a while now.
Maybe 10.
Really?
We're a decade
least
into
I
those
think of that as
like
being in,
Matrix.
yeah, I guess it is post dubstep.
Yeah.
It's not. It's older than that.
Really?
Yeah. It's used slightly differently, but
All right.
it's just been in a
Yeah,
trailer
there's
for
a
a
particular
long
kind of
time.
it that sounds like it comes out of a dubstep track that to me feels.
That's true. It has gotten more dubsteppy in the last couple of
Anyway,
years.
whatever. That's not
We'll
the point.
watch the supercut of
It's
the
the Matrix,
yeah.
you guys. It's from the Matrix.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's
Like a helicopter goes into a building, it goes slow motion. That sound effect is just from there.
Yeah.
But now,
Yeah.
where we'll all remember it from now on is from The Mummy, where every time someone isn't talking,
It just goes. It's really fucking.
it's hard
funny.
to describe. Even
It is actually hard to describe.
You
so
think-
here's the
you-
thing:
you think
when you start watching this version of this trailer,
You think your sound is off? First of
No.
all.
well, no, I didn't.
No,
I
you
thought
think that
it was
it's a
just,
stylistic, minimalist
Yeah.
thing, and then a guy just goes pan, 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 and it sounds like he's just yelling it in a closet.
Yeah, right. So it starts off, and there's a full minute of just quiet shots, and no one's saying anything.
Yeah.
But there is a low rumble. There
Yeah.
is a sound bed, and it sounds like a modern trailer affectation where it's we're gonna take this big, stupid, pulpy, dumb action
Right.
thing, but make it seem incredibly profound.
You're
by
expecting
having-
the piano.
You're
notes to
waiting
come
for
in.
the-
You're waiting
I'm
for the
waiting
piano.
for the fucking
yeah.
piano.
Yeah.
But instead, you get the
Instead,
best
it
thing.
just cuts to a cockpit, and then the guy just goes pan, 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 and there's no disaster sound happening. It's just a guy going pan, 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 and that's the first time you can actually be certain
Something is very wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing, and one of the reasons it is I think noteworthy is that it reveals how much movies at this point are basically just video
nothing.
games. They're just
Yeah, they're
made
just
up
garbage.
things
Well,
where
yeah.
it's we've just created every single element of this separately. We filmed the movie. Every single other thing is just layered in.
It seems like that has been revealed for a while for pop music.
Oh yeah.
Because the isolated tracks come out of just a rock, a hugely produced rock song, and then you just get the
Yeah.
lead singer's vocals.
And
And
it
a
sounds
guy
like
going,
crap.
And it's just like the weirdest fucking shit.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like, those.
God, like the Sergeant Sanders videos. That series.
Oh, those are
that's
those are
different.
fake.
That's
That's
like
it's different, but that is all. That is the same. It's the same.
Shreds.
Yeah.
Sergeant
Videos?
Sanders
Shreds,
is the Shreds videos. Yeah, that's this guy who will mute a rock music video and then dub really bad audio over it. It's amazingly well done. And the Mummy trailer basically is like that.
Yeah,
It's
that's why I brought it up.
It's as though a like sound designer jokingly took the Mummy trailer, muted the whole thing, and then like just inserted hilarious screams. The thing that was funny about this to me with respect to video games was that there are a bunch of parts in it. There's a big part notably when Tom Cruise and someone are like jumping out of a plane and Cruise is screaming and you just hear a completely like unencumbered series of Tom Cruise screams. He's just like blah, blah, blah. And it reminds me exactly of when you have video game voice actors in the studio and you're like, all right, we're just gonna need like
20
yells.
Right.
You're just gonna have to. Now you're dying.
You're thrown off a cliff. You're punched and thrown off a cliff.
Yep.
You're shot 3 times and then you fall off a cliff. You're set on fire. You're set on fire, but then it's put out.
Yeah, and then each of those you need like 5 of them. For randomizing, and
there was even one that was repeated in this trailer, which is hilarious because you can just tell that
right.
No one's gonna know.
Oh yeah, no one.
Cruise
no one,
probably. There's a limit at how much Cruise is going to sit in the studio and do these stupid yells. Who even knows if it is Tom Cruise? Because when you bury that shit under enough of the other like audio that's going on, no one would be able to know.
That better be Tom Cruise.
Yeah. But it's
from his 2013 library. For some
you can license
film.
Yeah.
Cruise
Cruise
screams.
yell O2.wave.
Right. Yeah. God.
It's a very good entertainment experience, and you should seek it out. And I'm sure it will be mainly what this movie is remembered for.
It's been DCMA'd off of almost everywhere. I think Polygon just has decided they're going to host it and run an article about it. But all the copies on Twitter and YouTube have been erased.
Yeah.
Well, probably worked out for them. It's a lot of free
I
marketing.
have one in my Twitter DMs, I think.
In your DMs, you got a personal copy?
Yeah, but I don't have Twitter on my phone, so I can't play it right now. But yeah,
you're part of the Mummy Archive project now.
I recorded. I have all the audio locally on my on my computer, which means you could recreate it if you had the video from a real trailer. Yeah. I recorded the audio immediately to like Audacity or something just so I had it
to make sure that you had it forever.
Yeah.
So when this podcast is titled something in reference to this trailer, the future Wizard Jam game that is made of this can just use that sound library, which would be good.
That's true.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Derek Liu, who's a listener to this podcast and also produces video game trailers for his job, said that when he's making like weird, just kind of fun free time edits of movie trailers, that's actually a resource for him. Is he'll find a 5.1 audio version of a trailer and then just strip out channels from it to like he made a really, really great Tinkly Piano trailer mashup where he combined a bunch of trailers with Tinkly Piano music and then swapped the piano around in a really hilarious way. And I guess he made that by finding 5.1 audio trailers and just, removing all the channels that had music and stuff in them.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. So it's kind of like how people like Neil Cicierega get master track audio by ripping from Rock Band and then removing drums or whatever components.
I found this isolated Van Halen audio that I've had on my phone forever that I'm worried we're going to get anti-monetized for, but it's so funny I have to play it for half a second.
Okay.
This is an isolated vocals.
This is the thing you're referring to,
yes.
Right? Yeah.
Least I don't need to beg or borrow. Yes, I'm living at a base that kills. Ooh, yeah.
I've heard that. God, it's been a long time since I've heard that.
Oh man, it just. Anyway, The Mummy coming soon.
Yeah. Sorry about that, you guys.
Anyway, so that's our Mario Run segment.
Let's actually talk about Mario Run.
Oh yeah, this game is
should.
amazing. I
yeah.
think it's great. I think it's fantastic. Super Mario Run. Yeah, it's what, $10 on iOS.
Yes.
And you can play the first 4 levels. They did a good job, I think, selling this game.
App Store reviewers.
Stock market does not agree.
Yeah, no. People.
Wait, really?
Oh, the stock dropped a lot.
Yeah.
Why?
People are not happy about this model.
This game,
this model.
Super Mario Run, has 2.5 stars on the App Store, and everyone is enraged that it costs $10, that it's not free to play, and then doesn't nickel and dime you to death. Instead, you just drop a quarter of the price of a DS game or something like that.
Yep.
People are fucking incensed.
If anyone wondered why everything in the world is bad right now, this is
Yeah.
a completely harmless but entirely appropriate example of why.
Fuck Mario. What?
This game is so good. It is so well created. There is
Yeah.
a fucking insane amount of content in it in total.
Nope.
It is a fraction of the price of any Mario game that has basically ever been released on any platform, and yet it is just as full-featured
Chris,
as pretty much any Mario game.
You know
what
what-
the hell
Why
is
isn't it
wrong
free
with
though?
people?
Why isn't it free?
you know what's also bad? This is less bad, but it's in the same vein. But it's not. God, I feel bad about complaining about this. I just typed Super Mario Run into Games Discussed on my phone, and because Mario with all caps is an official brand name in the Apple ecosystem, even though it's a human being's name, whenever I type Mario into my phone now, it goes all caps.
All
Ooh.
caps?
Yeah, because
Wow, that sucks.
Weird.
yeah, so I can't. So my good friend Mario is being really disrespected by the brand Mario.
Really?
Anyway, so Super Mario Run turns out is just a microcosm
God.
for our bad year.
Oh, yeah.
Take that. Even though it's a great game, Super Mario Run is really good.
It is really good.
Yeah, I did not expect that it would actually be as enjoyable as it is. I didn't expect that the feeling of a Mario game would be translated to single thumb play as well as it has, but it is. Like, it feels like Nintendo just made the good one of these.
Yeah, for sure. It's yes, it is a really, really good example of both just an actual Mario game and also of a runner, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really feel like a runner. Right? It doesn't
No.
feel like Cannabalt or something.
It
but
feels like the Rayman games get closer to this than
Yeah.
Cannibal.
Yeah, I think that's true. And a couple people, like I think Sean compared it to Flappy Bird, and someone else in our office did. And I think is appropriate too. It's just kind of funny
Because it
given
has
that-
those pipes. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird. They used a lot of the very art that seems very Flappy Bird inspired.
I actually think the Flappy Bird art is better than Super Mario
I
Run's
agree,
art because
yeah.
Flappy Bird at least kind of
Yeah.
rips off the Super Nintendo, which is still even like a shitty version of Mario art. But whatever.
I agree. I mean, as much as I love this game, pretty much the only stuff I don't like is all visual presentation stuff, which is like.
Yeah, there are moments when I'm playing this game where, like in the rallies, I don't know if you guys.
Oh my
have
god!
done
In
a
the
lot of
rallies, I cannot keep track of
You
my
can't really
Mario.
keep track of where you are half the
because
time,
there's a
which
ghost
is a
on
bummer.
top of you, and if
Yeah.
you're in a coin
not
rush,
good.
everything is like flashing everywhere.
Yeah,
I
it's my
lose
one.
track
It's my one major
of
complaint.
my
with this
guy
game.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then also there's just they do the classic modern Nintendo thing of like there's a million little tiny cutscenes everywhere, and they're slow, and the camera zooms in, and you have to wait for it. Like I literally never want to watch any of that shit. Anyway, whatever. The game itself is fantastic. It's so good.
Yep.
It has a really great, this is another modern Nintendo thing that I think is really good.
The coin thing?
Yeah, the coin thing. A thing that
Actually,
Nintendo.
let's be honest here, Chris. It's not modern because it first became a part of the gameplay to do multiple runs as of Yoshi's Island.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But I guess the
I
thing.
mean, then that died because they did 3D games for a decade.
Yeah,
but
right.
Whatever.
I guess that's true. I guess you're right. I guess it's a return in some ways. But what I was
Mario
more going to say
64
is
had
that
that,
this
Oh,
is an
okay.
example of not just like the specifics of its colored coins, but like Nintendo has a way in.
So I wasn't actually trying to bag on you when I said
no,
that.
I
by
know,
the way.
I know.
I don't care when the colored coins show
in the
up.
last couple in the last couple generations of allowing their games to be super accessible. Like this game in some ways will like almost play itself in a lot of cases. I mean, this is obviously not actually true, but there are certain levels where for a lot of it, if you just don't touch anything, Mario will complete
He'll
a
kill the
shocking
guys and
amount
climb
of the
over
level.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, or at least avoid the guys.
He'll climb over them, Chris.
Yeah, that's what I said. You said kill the guys.
Oh, he does kill them.
No, not automatically.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, he just climbs over.
Yeah.
I'm a bad Mario. I
He
guess.
vaults.
Well, Jake wouldn't know because Jake kills every single guy
Right.
proactively.
Just naturally, I'm that good of a Mario.
Yeah.
Threat
but
neutralized.
then
Threat neutralized.
He says
I
with blood on
neutralize
his
every
hands,
threat.
just dripping all over his Mario suit. Yeah. Anyway.
But then that content can also be played in a way that is intensely challenging. And I mean, is it? So I don't. It's been a long time since I've played Yoshi's Island. I think I've completed that game, but I can't really remember. Do they have as many different level sort of overlays as this game
They
does?
have 2 in it, and it was the first time that I remember that. And like, it has regular coins, which are irrelevant. Then it has red coins, of which there are 5 in every level, and then I think there are 5 suns in every level, which give you something. Right. But then there's also 100 little stars, which are the things that in Yoshi's Island, if Baby Mario fell off of you, it would count. He would go into the bubble, which was the first time the bubble showed up. But it would count down from how many stars you had, and I think it would always refill to 50. But you could sort of pick up more of them in the level to get to 100, and they're just little like tiny sprites that are around. But if you collect all of those, like the end of a Yoshi's Island level, it'll give you a chalkboard that shows red coins, suns, and stars, and if you get all of them, it equals up to 100 points, and every level has a score on the back of it, and that was the first time they did that.
But they didn't actually have different variants of the levels.
No, like that. Yeah, this Mario Run, I think is the first time they've really doubled down on this. Like when Yoshi's Island was re-released on the DS as one of those. I can't remember what those games were called.
Sure, whatever.
You know, they re-released all their stuff, and they added more collectibles into all of the games in that, inspired by Yoshi's Island. And this one feels like this is like the next version of that, with the pink coins, purple coins, and black coins or gray coins or whatever they are.
Yeah, it's really good. I at this point, I'm so deep into this game. I have all levels complete, which is like sort of not that difficult.
Full
I think
threat neutralized on the
and then I have all the pink coins and all of the blue coins, and about half of the black coins, and I'm starting to hit in the like upper tiers of black coins. I am starting to hit some stuff that I'm like, you know what? I'm probably just never gonna, that's probably never going to happen.
So to explain this for people who haven't played it, the way that it works is it's not like Yoshi's Island where all of the collectibles are present at once. It's when you first run through it, there's the red coins, or I guess they're pink in this, that have been in a lot of Mario games, where if you find all 5 of the red coins, you're like, that used to sort of be considered the true, like you've truly completed a Mario level when you found all of the red coins or all the dragon coins or whatever else. But in this one, once you complete when you get the pink coins, it just puts 5 new coins that are harder to get, and also changes the coin distribution of the level slightly. And then when you get all of those, there's fucking impossible black coins to get. And each level on the map has 3 little dots on it that fill in when you complete those. So it's basically every level has effectively 4 runs in it of just a regular playthrough, then increasingly difficult coin hunts, and those.
It's not a hunt really in this game, right? I mean, it's less of a hunt and more of a challenge
because
sometimes
they get deeper into the colors.
Because Mario's always running forward, but if you're really dexterous and you can get him to do a backwards jump off of something that will let you wall jump up into an area that you didn't even consider part of the level.
Sure. I mean, but the fact that he's always moving forward though is very different than Yoshi's Island, right? I mean, like that fundamentally changes the sort of like
these levels.
Right, but it's more finding different routes or realizing that there are invisible coins. Like there's a set of coins. Like it has a thing that's also been in some recent games where there's outlines of coins, and if Mario touches them, they become coins. And sometimes the colored coin is inside of there, so you realize you have to be able to actually traverse a space twice that you didn't know you could even traverse twice, and that sort of stuff shows up.
Yeah, it's really good. I what's funny is I didn't even realize that there was this sort of tier beyond the pink coins. I was talking to Ollie about this game, and he was like, yeah, it's really cool how the level actually changes, when you're getting the different colored coins. And I was like, yes, he means that your perception of the level is influenced when you are setting yourself the personal goal of getting the one color of coin that exists in the game. And I just
see the world differently. You're looking at that platform just means something else now.
And I can't remember how I think I just eventually ended up playing another level again, probably on accident.
You're like, the level actually is different.
There's actually different colored coins, and the level is literally different.
It seems like it's just the coin distribution that changes, not the geography.
Right. Which is cool because that's entirely a sort of draw your gaze level design trick, which is pretty cool.
There's a lot of really good stuff in there like that.
Yeah, this game is really, really well designed. It's also I've for whatever reason I've never been a big fan of the increasingly broad moveset that Mario has. the later you get into the Mario series, the less I kind of like all the extra stuff Mario can do beyond just running and jumping. Like I still just personally pretty much have more fun in a like Super Mario 3.
Did you find that stuff works better when movement is taken off the table?
I did, because it feels like that stuff is actually instead of just like adding, it feels like it's changing, like it's recontextualizing the basic actions of running and jumping. Like being able to wall jump is one of the very few ways you can move backwards at all in this game,
right?
Because Mario will never run.
Yeah, it's
to
cool
the left.
that it uses the always on forward velocity to propel him backwards. Like that actually feels really, really clever in this context.
Yeah, I really like it. I've had some moments in this game where I'll be at the very end of like, let's say you're in an underground level and you're at the end of one section of it, and there's the pipe that you walk into to the right, and then that is like, okay, now you're in the next section of the level.
Right.
And right before the pipe, like maybe 4 tiles to the left and like 8 tiles up, or maybe the other way around, maybe 8 tiles to the left and 4 tiles up, there's a colored coin that I missed, and there's like one free floating block in between that and where I am, and I will just like sit there for like 30 seconds, like wall jumping back until I can get just on the left side of that free floating block, and then wall jump backwards. And the level wasn't probably designed for that. Like I was supposed to play better and get it when I was running through the first time, but like it's actually really
sort of
fun
like physics
to negotiate.
fudging is allowed,
yeah, this weird kind of reverse momentum thing that you're doing. I love it. I think it's really great. It's very like it encourages a kind of play, like kinetic play that feels really like weighty and substantial, and just feels like you're interacting with the world in a really solid way, which is kind of the opposite of how I feel in like a lot of 3D Mario games, for instance, which I know is not how everyone feels, right? Like those games are really good in other ways, but well, and in that way also in some of them. But
yeah,
I just love this game. I think it's great. I think it's really good.
Yep. It's really, really good. Should we take a break?
What?
I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
Probably should.
Yeah, we can take a break.
I don't know.
We can break it.
Got all that good mummy content, that good Mario content.
This episode of Idle Thumbs is brought to you by NatureBox. Yeah, NatureBox will send a bevy of delicious treats, a plethora of treats to your specifications, delivered to your home, to your office, to whatever address you choose. NatureBox is a ridiculously massive selection of tweets. I feel like of treats. I feel like it grows.
Tweets.
It grows by the week. Should tweet about these treats. If you go to naturebox.com/thumbs, you can get 50% off your first order. That order could include such selections as
pineapple slices?
Well, please, of course, those Big Island pineapple slices.
There we go.
Why would you not want those?
Classic.
But also, I mean, listen to some of the stuff they've got here. Sea salt pop pops. They got this jalapeno white cheddar popcorn.
Pops.
They've got toasted sesame sticks, sriracha roasted cashews. Those are really good. We've had those before. They've got like nut mixes. They have a probiotic power mix. I don't know what probiotic is.
Oh, I
but
do.
I know. Oh, really?
Oh, as
what is
somebody who has a shitty
probiotic?
stomach. Oh, it's
Okay.
just it basically makes your stomach better.
Oh. Hey, make your stomach better
The
with
bacteria
probiotic
in
power
your
mix from
stomach,
NatureBox.
it grows the good bacteria.
Okay.
in
It
your
grows
stomach.
the good stuff.
Yeah, it makes it happen.
I mean, you can have stuff like
Oh,
that.
it's
to
like
make you feel better.
antibiotic, but it's probiotic.
Yes.
That makes sense. It didn't occur to me to think about that. They got probiotics in here.
I need that.
They got nutty power clusters. If you're nutty like Nick Breckon.
I need that too.
Here's that Big Island pineapple.
Oh, I want that.
You can see it has
as
a
well.
high.
Oh, wow.
It has a
I'm
high
sold.
star rating from the NatureBox community, as it should. These are. This is a small sample of what you could be eating in convenient fashion, delivered right to your door from NatureBox. If you go to naturebox.com/thumbs, you will get 50% off your first order of delicious snacks. That is naturebox.com/thumbs. Think about that. This episode of Idle Thumbs is also brought to you by the Nick Breckon benefiting
What?
Casper.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, it's true.
Casper mattresses are manufactured in the United States. They are mailed to your door. And in the case of Nick Breckon, they have healed you.
They have. I am
Yeah.
rejuvenated. I'm a new man.
Nick
I'm a
Breckon,
young man.
once a broken-backed, miserable
Yeah.
asshole.
Right.
Now,
Now, just my back is fine.
now a bundle,
But all the rest of the
now
stuff,
a
maybe
bundle
it's
of
true still.
joy
Yeah, yeah.
with a back that feels like the back of a man 10 years younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, sleeping on a Casper mattress. This is true, though, right?
No. Yes, no, it is true. I got that Casper, and I had a horrible week of just excruciating back pain, and decided this is when I need to airmail in, airlift
Right,
in the
support.
Casper. I need
Yeah.
the support, and boy, has it worked. I haven't. It's all the pain is gone, and it has not come back. And I attribute it mostly to the Casper mattress, Chris.
Well, if you go to casper.com/thumbs, use the offer code thumbs. You got to do both of those things. Casper.com/thumbs. Use the offer code thumbs at checkout. You will get $50 towards the purchase of any mattress. You, like Nick Breckon, could reduce the agony in your life a little bit. And isn't that all what we need right now as we wrap up
Yeah, to just go to sleep
2016? Yeah, to go to sleep
forever.
and be happy
Yeah.
in your unconscious state,
Yes.
free of the influence of the rest of the world.
Mm.
Casper.com/thumbs. Offer code Casper for $50
Offer
towards
code
any.
thumbs, you mean?
Oh my God. Casper.com/thumbs. Offer code thumbs
There you go.
for $50 towards the purchase of any mattress. They're already affordable, very reasonably priced mattresses. You can get $50 towards the purchase of any of them. Casper.com/thumbs. Promo code thumbs. Thanks, Casper.
You're welcome, Chris. We're back.
Oh,
Hey,
Wow.
Welcome back.
Whoa,
Shall we do some reader mail?
let's do that.
Let's do it. Let's read mail.
It's what I love to do.
Is it?
Yeah, speaking of Mario, Nathan Goldbaum writes, "Stolen Mario found in creepy serial killer basement."
Oh, I love this. I know about this, and I love it.
In particular, the picture the cops took when they discovered the Mario statue.
It's so
So
good.
this was like what? Someone was robbed or something, and
It was a Mario was stolen, like,
a Mario
a Mario
statue.
statue was stolen from a video game store. Like
Okay.
there was a time in the 90s when I think a lot of like mom and pop game stores could get a like plastic Mario who was like had his hand in his pocket and his finger up, like that classic Mario pose.
Yep.
And it's just a fucking trashy off-model Mario. It's really bad, but one of them was
Oh God.
one of them was recovered by the police, and it just looks. There's two photos in this series, and one of them is like a flash photo of Mario with his back against the wall in like a fucked up garage, and then the other one is Mario like surrounded by the police who rescued him. It's
yeah. So
it's very good.
the photo I'm looking at is the second of those, which is like like 6 police officers all posing
It's like
in a
it's
parking lot
with Mario.
with a big stupid
But
Mario.
you say big stupid Mario, but it's like if it's Mario assuming that he doesn't have a
you
mushroom.
should find this and add it as a source to the Twitch
Oh yeah,
stream.
I'll try to
Oh,
find
yeah.
it.
It's really good. Yeah, it looks like Mario is being held hostage. Or here's one where there's one where they're all like holding him horizontally.
Oh.
It's really weird. They're just having a boatload of fun
Yeah.
with this Mario.
God, okay, so this is dumb to say, but because it's the obvious joke, but man, I hope someone said threat neutralized.
I'm guessing that
And then
like
somebody in the back said, "Pizza tonight."
yeah. Yeah. Well, this was the Facebook post I'm looking at is from the actual game store.
Oh, good.
Are you game? That's good. Well, I knew that Jake would love this, and it seemed relevant to
Yeah, it's very
to
important.
Mario discussions.
Man, a mom and pop game store. What a novelty.
I know, yeah, right.
Weird. I've never actually experienced that.
Ever?
No.
I have very rarely. There's a used game store in New York City that I went to once.
Okay.
And it was it's interesting. Like it's weird. It definitely is unusual these days because to the extent that there even are any game stores, they're pretty much all GameStops now.
Yeah.
They've outlasted pretty much every other. Right? I mean,
Yeah,
I worked at a store called Game Crazy for a couple
Game
years,
Crazy was
which
a
was a
thing.
subsidiary of Hollywood Video
Yes.
when that existed. And I
Right.
think Game Crazy may have outlasted Hollywood Video
Yeah.
but still didn't outlast.
Some of those
the
chains
world.
lasted longer than you thought. Like FuncoLand was around for a while. I think it might still be around.
No,
Yeah.
FuncoLand got acquired by GameStop.
Oh, did it? Okay.
All of them, other than Game Crazy, got acquired by GameStop.
I feel like there might be still a few that are operating
I
underneath
think
the
I thought
FuncoLand.
FuncoLand was the predecessor to GameStop. Like I thought FuncoLand actually transformed
No,
No, I
into
don't
the
think so.
modern.
All of them did. I think that. I mean, if we're really going to get into this garbage, Babbage's and Electronics Boutique were the two
yeah.
mall stores.
Yeah.
And I think it was Electronics Boutique. God, one of those.
Acquired Babbage's.
It's tough. I can't remember how
Babbage's-
all this worked.
Babbage's
because
went away,
Electronics
Electronics
Boutique
Boutique-
turned into EB Games, acquired Babbage's,
Yes.
and then I think GameStop may have been FuncoLand, but it was or it was EB Games, or it was a tiny subsidiary from Texas or something. But anyway,
Yeah, I think.
they just rose up and ate each other, and there was a while there where your stupid '80s mall could have all
Any
of them. Could
Yeah,
have like
yeah,
could
no.
have two GameStops in it
my
it
mall
used
had a Babbage's and EB Games,
Yeah,
and I think a GameStop at a certain point.
but yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing I was thinking of. Funko is actually where Game Informer began. Game Informer began as the magazine
God,
for
that's right.
the Funko Land official
Yeah.
magazine, not Game Informer. And when so Babbage's was owned by Barnes and Noble, and then became a subsidiary of Funko, and then Barnes and Noble bought that whole thing.
Okay.
At which point it also acquired Game Informer, which had been around since 1991, but this was in 2000.
Wow, really?
So Game Informer had
Crazy.
already been around since 1991,
nuts.
owned by Funko, and then Funko was renamed GameStop Incorporated. So I think Funko actually was the entity
Okay.
that is the legal
You know,
predecessor
that
of
makes sense.
Got it.
Because my memory of walking into a FuncoLand is basically now your experience in a GameStop, where there was just like the TV running with like trailers for games and people talking about games, and then like people
Yeah.
selling you magazine subscriptions and just that kind of like aggressive video game chain experience.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely associated that with FuncoLand. Also, used games. That was the big FuncoLand thing.
Oh,
was-
yeah.
It's just everything was used.
Well, that became GameStop's big
yeah,
thing, too.
yeah. So it makes sense now. All right. Well,
So
I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
I didn't know about the Barnes & Noble connection, though. I guess Barnes & Noble then took GameStop public in an IPO in 2002 and retained control with a majority of shares until 2004, when it then distributed shares to shareholders, making it its own like independent, public independent company, I guess. Weird.
Yeah.
And then after all that is when they acquired EB Games. So EB Games
Okay.
was like
EB Games is a
a
whole
late
lot.
addition
Yeah.
to all
Yep.
this. Yeah. When you look at on Wikipedia, when you look at the like brands that all have become part of GameStop, it's crazy.
Yep.
EB Games, Babbage's, Micromania, Congregate, Game Informer, Impulse, ThinkGeek, Zing Pop Culture, and GeekNet. I didn't even know.
I didn't know ThinkGeek.
Yeah, I didn't either.
weird.
Anyway, weird.
Is the chain store Game, all capital Game?
No,
That's
Game-
UK.
That's
That's
UK,
still
and that's
independent.
not related.
Okay, because I know
Yeah.
EB
Yeah.
was also in the UK, and I think
I think they still operate a bunch of those stores as EB because it was
Hmm.
a stronger brand over there. Maybe not anymore. Maybe that finally gave up on that.
Game Retail.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever.
Anyway, they found that Mario, and it was good.
Yeah, yeah.
Tristan writes, "Hi, I was hanging out
Hi.
with my friend and a friend of that friend when this other friend and I got to talking. Turns out he's into a lot of the same stuff I am, like watching video games and Twitch. We got to talking more, and I found out he's into Dark Souls and is currently into New Game Plus.
His name is Nick Breckon.
He's into Dark Souls and is currently on New Game Plus 35 on Dark Souls 2. He has played through Dark Souls 2 35 times on a single character.
Jesus.
So I
New
mentioned
Game Plus 35 implies that he's on his 36th playthrough. Let's be honest here.
That's true. That's
come
true.
on, guy.
Well, it means he's played through. He's on his 36, but this says he's played through it 35 times,
okay.
which is accurate.
Okay.
So I mentioned, like the missionary
You're
I
right.
am, that there's a podcast called Idle Thumbs he might want to check out. He replies, "Oh yeah, I know Idle Thumbs. I love that guy." I asked him which guy, to which he replied, "You know, the Dark Souls streamer with the glasses."
Good.
I thought for a second
Good.
and asked him if he knew Idle Thumbs was in fact a podcast. He did not know.
Oh, God
He
damn
knew
it.
Idle Thumbs only as a man streaming Dark Souls 2.
Oh, that's gross. I
Cheers,
don't like that
Tristan.
at all. Oh, I've done something bad. All right, well.
You got to go to TwitchCon, Nick, as Idle Thumbs.
Yeah.
One word.
You know, the Dark Souls 2 streamer with the glasses.
Oh, God.
I love that having glasses
right,
is
yeah,
like
with
a
the
distinguishing
glasses, oh, yeah.
He can't be like, oh, you know, that white Dark Souls streamer. He's got like brown hair,
No.
kind of white. He's got like a
Keep
bit,
going, keep
like
going.
like kind
Like
of
a
some like
stubbly,
scruffy
shitty
stubble
beard.
Yeah, it looks like maybe, yeah.
He wears a hoodie frequently.
Right.
Uh,
Anyway.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yep. Sorry. Let's see. Derek writes, Dear Thumbs, regarding Jake's story of the ever-increasingly notorious vintage convenience store at 1520 Mission Street and Bay Street in Santa Cruz,
Oh, man.
now a burger joint aptly named Burger. I've never been there personally, but I've heard of similar places, and I have a hypothesis.
Oh,
The
shit.
convenience store was probably the location of a food stamp racket, where people on food stamps could trade their scrip for real cash, usually at the easy math rate of 50 cents cash per dollar of food stamp credit. The convenience store then cashes the stamps back into the Department of Agriculture, cooking the books to make it appear that the food items were purchased with the stamps, and they would get full value and compensation. One of the jobs of the United States Secret Service is to detect and fight food stamp fraud, so they actively hunt for this sort of racket, and one of the symptoms of a food stamp fraud racket is a storefront with old dusty merchandise and a resistance to actually sell anything. It sounds like the Bay Mission convenience store was doing its thing without getting caught for a very long time, that it would never see the need to update its signage or modeling, let alone the stock it never actually sold. As I said, I haven't been there, and I only know about it what I've heard on Idle Thumbs, but it would explain why all the stock is ancient and why Jason couldn't even buy Pac-Man vitamins. Regards, Derek, a.k.a. Uriel238. That's a really... That's probably
crazy.
Yeah.
that's probably what it was.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
That's crazy that they could get away with that for decades, given that there were people writing about how they found that in the 70s and it had 60s stuff in it. But that's,
Right.
you know...
Yeah. Seems plausible.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
What's crazy about that is there are probably, I mean, unless it was the same owner who just owned and operated it for the entire time, you'd think there would be different employees who had to be like introduced.
It seemed like it had a staff of one. There was one guy who was always behind the counter wearing the same smock
and he's just
every
been
day
running
forever.
personally running that scam since the 70s, probably.
I mean, maybe if he
Yeah, probably.
owned the store, if like.
I mean, I guess the fewer people involved,
fewer
the less
people involved,
likely.
yeah, I mean, that's the
because it
thing. You
had
don't
like
wanna-
it had the freezers or like the refrigerator fixtures for a produce section and for a deli, but those were not stocked with produce or meat anymore. They just had they just had boxes of unopened merchandise in them. So that guy didn't need to employ like any sort of other grocers or butchers or anything. Who's to say?
Yeah.
Who's to say? A food stamp racket is so specific, but it's interesting that there are common signs.
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
seems like a thing. Yeah, I mean,
would've
it
thought
sounds
about
like
it,
a
but
totally.
it's gotta be a thing.
I love that the
scam.
Secret Service is part of their job.
Well, it's because the Secret Service is counterfeiting. Like,
Yeah.
that was one of the original, because Secret Service was originally a division
Treasury.
of the Treasury Department. I don't think they are
They still
anymore.
are.
Oh, they
I
still
believe
are.
so,
Okay,
yeah,
okay. I thought
yeah.
that changed in the modern era, but maybe not.
Do you
Maybe,
think
but
it
I
would be
think
like
they-
under
I think
Homeland
they are.
Security or something?
Yeah, I thought that was reorganized, but
Maybe.
Let's hope they're
they,
still
they
part of
may
the
very
Treasury
well not
Department.
be. They might still be Treasury. Anyway, Fiona Martin writes, Hey Thumbs, I've fallen into the Twitch rabbit hole and I've set up some hosting of channels I enjoy or others in the Thumbs community who stream a little, including, of course, the Idle Thumbs Twitch channel. I don't know how much you've thought about expanding the Thumbs on Twitch, but I wanted to put forward the idea of a Thumbs group where people can host each other. I ask this because the community is amazing, it gave me the confidence to stream, and it's such a positive boon to what is viewed as a toxic chat medium, and that perhaps other Thumbs who would feel more confident about playing some games if they knew they got a bit of that positivity behind them. Thanks again for the podcast and streams. Have a great weekend. Fiona. Fiona is one of the mainstays of Twitch chat. That's a really good idea. I think probably we wouldn't maintain anything like that. This sounds like a community-oriented thing, but I would be happy to unofficially bless a Thumbs.
I mean, there's a mechanism called Twitch groups. I don't know if you're aware of
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I just Twitch. I was reading about this recently on Twitch. They have recommendations about auto hosting where you set up your sort of Twitch group and all auto host each other. Again, that seems like something probably more for the community to do amongst itself. But I think that's a really good idea to try and cultivate a Twitch streaming and chat community that is healthy and friendly.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone wants to make a thread or something on the forums, then, happy to signal boost or whatever. All right. Shu writes, a holly jolly robot apocalypse. Hey guys, been listening in for about a year now. Thanks for taking the time to brighten my commute with insane gaming stories and toilet candy. I recognize there's a long-running theme of you guys discussing algorithmic AI storytelling and also fear of a robot-dominated future, so this news tidbit seems right up your alley. Take a peek. Are you guys okay? Enjoy. Shu.
I don't know whatever this is.
Oh man, I'm really glad you don't. I'm surprised that neither of you.
I mean, I assume I
this.
don't.
have you heard the Robot Christmas Carol?
No.
You have not?
No.
Oh, man. Okay. Then I think what you need to hear is a Christmas Carol that was created by feeding a corpus of like dozens or hundreds of Christmas carols into an AI machine learning algorithm.
Okay.
And then its creation is this.
Christmas tree is filled with flowers. I swear, 'tis Christmas Eve. I hope that is what you say. The best Christmas present in the world is a blessing. I've always been there for the rest of our lives. 100.5 hours ago. I am glad to meet you. I can hear the music coming from the hall. A fairy tale, a Christmas tree. There are lots and lots and lots of flowers.
Oh,
Was the end of that? There are loads and loads
There
and
are
loads of
flowers?
There are
flowers.
lots and lots
Oh,
and lots of flowers. I'm gonna read the
man.
Lyrics to this for you all here. It's actually hard to read. Lots to decorate the room. The Christmas tree is filled with flowers. I swear it's Christmas Eve. I hope that's what you say. The best Christmas present in the world is a blessing. I've always been there for the rest of our lives. 100.5 hours ago, I'm glad to meet you. I can hear the music coming from the hall. A fairy tale. A Christmas tree. There are lots and lots and lots of flowers.
Man. Well,
So, was that thing deliberately tuned to basically sound like a song from that GLaDOS would sing in Portal, or is that a complete coincidence? Because the way that the voice modulation and tone
Yeah.
worked,
Yeah.
and even the style of song,
yeah,
it sounds like a more honest version of like what the robots in Aperture Science would write as a Christmas Carol. That was really strange to me because of the the crazy voice modulation stuff.
I imagine it's just really, really difficult to synthesize human speech that sounds good in singing because it's
it is just
you have to change
doing
your
a
intonation
hardcore
to
pitch
like,
shifts.
yeah, you're
it's-
just auto-tuning or
like,
text-to-speech, basically.
when
Yeah.
you're speaking, if you change the pitch of your voice, it just doesn't sound real at all.
What's the name of the actress who plays GLaDOS?
Elaine? Oh, I can't. You'll find it if you look for 2 seconds. But the thing I love about this is that it has no concept. It has
Ellen
some,
McLain.
Ellen McLain, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It has some concept, but not a full concept
No context
of how
really. Yeah.
melody and harmony work together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times the melody is just the note of the root of the key, but it just kind of changes the harmony and melody whenever it feels like it without any which is sort of interesting because humans also started doing that in the 20th century intentionally because it's we've sort of the thinking was
Right.
we've basically exhausted traditional melody and harmony, but the robot doesn't ever go through a creative process of
Right.
first making things harmonious and then breaking out. It's just I don't know anything. I'm just gonna do whatever. Which it's a reminder that the things that we like and dislike about music are 100% conditioning, which is why different cultures historically have developed different musical scales. There's nothing intrinsically natural about the Western just 8-note or 12-tone scale that we use. It's just what we've grown up with and therefore but there are other musical systems that have existed, but the robot obviously hasn't spent a lifetime being conditioned. It's just been
Right.
given a bunch of data.
Well, it did, but it did
Right,
within 3 seconds.
Right, but what I
It
mean
lived
is
a whole
that,
lifetime.
Yeah, but what I mean is
and
that
then
none
wrote
of
a
that,
shitty Christmas song.
yeah, but I mean none of that information is contextualized in anything.
No, I know.
It's not like it.
Well, maybe a Boston Dynamics robot gave it some applause for one version. or
No,
another.
a robot just stared at it and you heard come out of its speaker.
What?
You heard just a MIDI clap sound effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the reason that I mentioned Ellen McLain and Portal is because when one of the last things that I worked on when I was at Telltale was Poker Night 2, which had GLaDOS in it as a character, and I wasn't in any of the voice sessions for that game, but some of the people who worked on it were, and they were talking about how she does the GLaDOS voice, and I don't even, maybe there's not a whole lot to say about it. It just, what they, like, the way that the audio processing works, like, it sounds like a robot, but apparently, like, to give that performance, she doesn't put in all of the pitch shifts, but apparently she puts like half of them in. It's like
weird.
It's like a weird give and take with the engineers
So
who
she
mix it.
sings an actually different melody than the one that. Oh, you mean not when she's singing the song, but when she's just talking?
I mean, I think it's both. I think that they do
Right, okay.
they do some stuff in a flat affect, and sometimes she'll also do the pitch variant. Like
I
it's a
see,
weird,
okay.
it's a very
That
strange
is interesting,
performance to like
yeah.
have to cobble together what seems like a very like to get the feeling of a speech synthesis thing that has a bunch of personality and has cadence and has some control over its voice variants, but then an engineer goes in and still like. It would be
Adds
easy.
the sort
It would be
of-
easy to
okay.
assume
I
that,
can
that it
think
was
about it
just
now, yeah.
auto-tuned, but apparently
Right.
it's a weird mix. I don't.
That's really cool. That
Yeah.
probably ends up making it both more unsettling and also more of a unique performance than if she were either doing all of it or if she were doing the whole thing flat and,
and
the
an
entire thing
engineer was
auto-tuned.
totally pitching it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
sure.
that is a human voice that's been shifted is totally different than a human voice that is shifted by the person doing it.
Yeah,
And that's
really-
really but they there's enough processing that you don't notice those two things are happening
Yeah,
consciously, but I bet it creates.
It was a cool reveal
Yeah.
that like the GLaDOS performance is an actual like collaboration between
That's really
engineering and acting.
Yeah.
And then she performed that Christmas song for us.
Oh really?
No, that.
Oh, this one right here. Okay. Thanks, Jake.
You're welcome, Chris. The one you just listened to.
Yeah, okay, I'm dumb. Jagandeep Brar writes, "Hey Thumbs, I made a quick redirect site for you. Right now, if you head over to wizardjam.org, you'll be redirected right to the itch.io site without any more action. If you head over to wizardjam.org/archive, you'll be presented with quick links to take you to the various Wizard Jam sites. So yeah, if you go to wizardjam.org/archive, I'm there right now. There are links to all 4 Wizard Jams, links to their forums threads, their welcome threads, and their itch.io pages. So yeah, that's a really cool. Thank you.
That's a really cool.
He says, I'm hosting it on GitHub pages so I can add anyone as a collaborator if we need it. Great. Happy holidays from a relatively new listener. My name is pronounced Juggendeep or just Juggin. All right. Thank you, Juggendeep. That is awesome. We dragged our feet on never doing anything like that, so that is cool. I should say I probably dragged my feet. I would have been the person who would have done that. What else do we have here?
I don't know. What else do we have, Chris?
Should we call it?
We can call it pretty soon. We'll do one more. Diddly Dumb writes, Idle Thumbs. Today I was listening to your podcast, and for one of the first times, I didn't get it on Overcast in time, so I went to your site and clicked on the embedded YouTube video, and then I saw it. You guys were real people with faces and beards and everything. I always imagined you as disembodied voices. I never even thought to think that you guys had things like body parts. Your friend, Diddly Dumb.
Well,
A robot.
yeah.
It's weird, huh?
Yeah, we exist. Sorry.
I'm sorry about that. I apologize.
Oh.
I mean, Jake's generally bummed about that.
That
just
I
overall,
exist?
Yeah, but just
Yeah.
overall, but
Yeah.
yeah. Well, should we? I guess we should call it.
If only we
Yeah.
could be sentient cloud beings in the cloud. I don't want that at all.
No.
I just don't want to be on a camera.
Too bad. Now you're on one every week. Oh,
It's true. It sucks.
well,
But I love it. I love doing this podcast, you guys. Don't kill me.
we haven't
Just
yet,
shotgun
so you're
on the
probably
table,
fine.
just like-
Jesus. Yeah, that's the Tarantino live stream.
Yeah,
where the
the-
camera then just pans down and then
Right.
right back
just
up.
yeah.
Yeah, we're doing a short podcast this week because we're immediately going to record a second podcast that we can queue up for next week. So
It'll
that
be
when
better
we're
than this one.
Who's to say? So when we're all out of town for holiday travel,
Our friendly robot will deploy this podcast for
Yes,
us.
Exactly.
We don't have a robot, actually. We'll just have to do it from
Yeah.
vacation.
There's a robot.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening. If you have email for us, you can send it to us at questions@idlethumbs.net. We won't, at this point, get it until the new year probably, but you should send it so that when we come back, we can start 2017 off on a great start, the reader mail. The best start to any new year.
It's the best we can hope for anyway.
Yeah, no kidding. You can subscribe to this podcast on iTunes and many other places you find podcasts. We're on Twitter at twitter.com/idlethumbs, on Facebook at facebook.com/idlethumbs. And if you like this podcast, please consider telling a friend about the podcast part, not just Nick's Dark Souls streams, although that's fine to tell people about as well. We will be talking to you immediately, but you won't hear it until next week.
Bye for a week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know.
I guess we got to turn off that stream.
That's true. Sorry, people on Twitch. We're going to withhold this episode from you like shitheads.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye. How do I turn this off? Twitch. Blah.